Pandemic may have stopped many theatre productions across Lancashire, but it hasn't stopped arts groups planning for the future. Luminate Morecambe is behind the pop-up Shadow Puppet Theatre and is working with various groups across the county. If all goes to plan, they're looking to perform next Easter, fingers crossed. And I'm delighted to welcome director Callum Henry to the programme this morning. Very good morning to you, Callum.
Good morning.
Morning. So tell me, what is Luminate Morecambe?
So Luminate Morecambe is an umbrella project, really, what usually focuses work in Morecambe, and we work with communities all throughout the town and the area in doing light projects, and they're usually inspired by traditions. So particularly in Morecambe, there's the tradition of the illuminations, but also traditions about local stories, local culture, and then we go through to modern times as well. So we look at the stories but to do with modern times. So, for example, we've done work about climate change. We were supposed to do work this winter about food poverty, and we do things about engaging with communities where we work with a broad spectrum from schools to care homes and connect them all up to do one project. So each of them, plays a part in whatever project we do. So we've worked from projections to light up signs on the beach, which we did earlier this year. So, yeah.
And I imagine then these last few months you've not been able to do that, Callum.
No. So we started this year with plans to do lots of things this year, as many people did. And we did the big display on the beach, what some people might remember, of loads of neon signs to do with the environment and things. And after that, we were planning on starting work on a Christmas project for Heysham, starting work on another project around the county, starting work on projects in Blackpool, various countless things, working with care homes, working with schools, and of course then the pandemic hit and all of them had to ground to a halt, like many arts organisations have gone through.
Of course, and then looking ahead, you are now working on the pop-up Shadow Puppet Theatre. Does that do what it says on the tin?
In many ways, but because of the pandemic, it's quite different to what people might expect of a pop-up Shadow Puppet Theatre.
It's a real mouthful, isn't it? Yeah. I struggle to say that.
Yeah. So the name of the production in the theatre is called The Spirit of Lancashire. So it's quite fitting after the pandemic to really go back to the roots of the county and work. And we're going on a tour to 4 locations so far. So Morecambe, Preston, Chorley and Darwin. And we're hoping that more will get added. But we're taking what you can imagine is a Victorian sideshow in many ways.
Okay.
So like your old tents, what pop up, and they just pop up and they've got all the bunting and this traditional thing, but the stories are going to be done with local people in workshops, hopefully, either online or in person. So it's adapted to that. But instead of the traditional idea that somebody is behind doing the show, the difference with this is that it's going to be projected onto the theatre instead. So all of the films, what we do from around the county, will be able to be presented. So the stories we tell from Morecambe and the stories we tell from Preston can be all told, for example, in Chorley. We don't need the groups. And that's our way of adapting, obviously, to the conditions and making sure that we can still provide this piece of work, for example, if we get to Easter and things are,
fingers crossed. This is what you're aiming for, isn't it? To be able to put on these performances around Easter time.
Yeah, so we're basically looking at April onwards, and we've adapted it as much as we can to hope of things changing, and obviously similar conditions than we are, but we're hoping that things will be a slight better. So, for example, it's outdoors, it's projected, it's socially distanced, and we call it a COVID-secure piece of theatre because in many ways it's as secure a piece of theatre as we can do in these times. So,
Callum, it sounds fantastic. We wish you well. We've got fingers crossed that this can all go ahead at Easter. If people would like more information about it, Callum, where can they find that?
Yeah, so we're still looking for various groups in the locations, and people can find out more information on luminatemarkham.com/spirit, and they'll be able to find out all about the locations it's going, just a brief synopsis about what it is and how they can get involved. For example, if they know a local community group in the location we're going, or they feel like they have somewhere they want to provide for it to pop up. So people
Fantastic.
can find out all there.
Lovely. Thank you so much. That was Callum Henry there, who's the director of Luminate Morecambe. If you would like any more information about the pop